Happy Movement Monday, Mob. After this week's poll, we're doing a lower back routine. It just beat out hip mobility, so maybe I should do some hip mobility next week. If so, let me know in the comments below. But for today, we're going over a lumbar spine. And I'm gonna show you 3 moves that I like to teach a lot of my patients if they're experiencing pain or a lot of stiffness. And this is a routine that I love them to perform first thing in the morning. So let's get at it. The first move we're gonna do is some lumbar flexion and rotations. So I'm gonna show you level 1, but there is a level 2 to this. Level 1 would be doing what we just call a windshield wiper. So if I'm lying on my back, I bend my knees until my ankles are about a foot away from my buttock. And then from here, we're just gonna simply windshield wiper our knees back and forth. Now, if you have pain or a ton of tension, you're gonna start this sucker slow, just exploring what ranges you have for the first couple of reps. And for me, I already did mobility training at the gym this morning, so I'm feeling pretty loose. So if this is not too bad, you can go all the way over, starting to work some of that rotation into the spine. Now I'll show you from the bottom up view. Gonna work side to side. Again, if it's tight, just stay in your happy range. But if it's craving this movement, it should get easier as you do more. And you're gonna bust out a good 10 to 15 of these on each side. Again, if you can go all the way on both sides, then let me show you the progression to take it up another level. So the next level would be full flexion and rotation. So I'm gonna bend my knees until I'm about a 90-degree angle in my knees and my hips here. If you need to, you can squeeze your thighs together and you're gonna simply rotate from one side to the other. So I'm using my arms here for support. I feel a lot of tension here. I'm gonna touch it, and then we're just gonna rotate to the other side. So this would be your next level progression, trying to work not only your lumbar spine, but this is getting into that lower thoracic spine, which is commonly tight with anyone with lower back pain. So if you could do this one, I like a solid 10 to 15 of this. And just so you can see it from the straight on view or the bottoms up view, I'm rotating while keeping my mid back or my shoulder blades on the ground. So I'm just getting most of that rotation through my lumbar spine. All right, there's move number 1. We got 2 more to go. For these next 2 moves, I'm gonna be using this bench, so you could do this at the gym, or most of you should have a couch or a chair at home, so there's no excuses not to get these movements in. And what we're gonna perform is cat-cows, but more specific to the lumbar spine. So what you're gonna do is rest your upper body on the bench or the couch, and then you're going to just try to extend through that lumbar spine, and then we're going to try to flex through that lumbar spine. So if you don't practice this much or you feel like you're not getting much movement, one of my favorite cues here is think of your pelvis as a bowl of water, and to go into that extension, you're going to try to dump that water to the floor as far as you can without any discomfort, and then you want to dump that water out the back, or I think of tucking my tail between my legs here. And we're gonna bust out a solid 10 to 15. I think you're getting the gist of the reps here. And you're just trying to see if you can go further and further. So if you have your full range right away, by all means get fully adventurous and really live into those ranges. But if you have a lot of stiffness, just touch that tension and then move it to the other side. And then as you rep this out, it should start to feel easier and easier. If it does the opposite, then no, you just should seek a local movement or medical professional and stop guessing if some of these movements can help. But if it opens up, we call that green light. It means your joints are craving it. And this is a very low risk movement to do, especially first thing in the morning. So we first loosened up rotation, then we started to loosen the joints or lubricate them in both flexion and extension. But we're going to go over the most common movement that's lost in the lumbar spine, and that's our extension. So same exact starting position here, but you're going to bring your knees slightly behind you, and what you're going to do is let your kind of belt line sink to the floor. Again, this is going to be tight on a lot of you, especially if you have any pain or discomfort. You're just going to rock back and forth. So I rock, as soon as I feel that tension, touch it, come right back. And if you don't know the gist by now, try to see if you can go further with each rep. Again, that's green light. Even if it's stiff or painful, if it's getting easier, it means your joints are craving it, and you need to do this routine probably more than once per day. So we're gonna do a solid 10 to 15. I'm sure you guessed that by now. And I could tell I'm starting to sink a little bit further. If it's too easy, you would just widen that stance. Again, coming down, the slower you come down, you might feel it in your abdomen. A little bit of a core workout at the same time, but we're just trying to restore that lumbar extension, which is the most common range I see lost with anyone with lumbar spine pain. Nice. And if you can get fully into this, you can even hang out here for 30 seconds or so at the very end and just get used to living in that extension range. There you have it. 3 moves, should take about 5 minutes. So if you have low back stiffness or even pain, if you have pain, ease into this, don't be a hero. Just touch the movement, and if it opens up, keep doing it. And if you have a lot of lower back issues, you should be doing this daily, if not 2 to 3 times a day. If you have a lot of tension in your lumbar spine, then your muscles are super spastic, they're guarding the joints. And if you just start to butter those suckers up, it starts to loosen up, your muscle tension starts to decrease, and you start moving and feeling better. And let me know, should I just do hips next week? It was only 1 vote off of lumbar spine. Let me know in the comments, and let's get moving.